Welcome to the den. I hope everything is going well with you today. As you come in, I hope you hit that like and subscribe button. You know it always will help me out. Let's get right into it. I've heard that the best storytellers make the best YouTubers, so I thought I'd give it a try. I decided to make this video today after what I seen Kevin Samuels talk about yesterday. And when you watch the video, you begin to see that no matter what logic was thrown at this lady, she would not be moved and she would not be pushed off her heel of wanting to be right. And it's okay. None of us are strangers to meeting people that are delusional, especially in these days. But this woman was interesting because she had a son. And when asked, would she want her son to operate in the same manner as she is operating, which is going with your gut, putting feelings over facts, she said that's the way she would want to raise her son. And if you're a man, especially in these days and times, that you understand or should understand that it is very dangerous to raise a son that is highly emotional, reacts on the fly, and expect for things to go their way, even though we know that this is a dog-eat-dog world. Nothing is fair and it's hard. So when you raise a son to act on his emotions, you are breeding a person that expects everything to go his way, and when it doesn't, you raise a person that takes and that feels like no matter what they do, no matter how they react, is the way they should react. So that brings me to today's story. And the title of today's video is Think, Then Act, Never React. And that brings me to the story I have. You know, it was just like any other day. You know, I go to work, a hard day's work, sitting behind a cubicle, helping a company make millions of dollars, waiting for them to break me off my little piece of that pie. You know, just like the majority of the men and women in America. I decided to go to the store after I get off of work. I have a nice drive. You know, I am in the Midwest, and a lot of the times in between bigger places, you get a chance to look at nature. So as I walk through the store, you know, looking at the different items that I'm wanting to get and trying to make up my mind, I get my things and finally decide to go to the register. So when I go to the register, I'm standing in line because for some reason, you know, every time you go to the store, if there's not self-checkouts, the line always wraps around the store. I finally get like 2 or 3 people away from the cash register, and I see this older Caucasian lady. She looks like she's either in her late 40s or mid 50s, something like that. Something, you know, you can never tell sometime with people. And she was talking to her son, and out of my peripheral, I see her snicker to her son and then look at me really fast, and out of nowhere she decides to turn back at me, and I'm in my wool coat, my Scully, because it's like 30 degrees outside, and my virus approved mask, and she looks at me and says, you know, with that on, you look like a robber.
Hey, boy, ain't no fucking way, boy.
Now, if you know, or if you have any African American friends, or you're African American yourself, you didn't take that remark kindly, because it almost was like a sideways dig at the fact that I am black, a black man, and with my getup or my outfit and mask on, I look like a robber. So, you know, the first thing, if I can think back, happened to me is I clenched my fist. You know, my heart started racing really fast. You know, and you get that ball in your throat, right? That ball in your throat where you know you are fighting that fight or flight, and you want to get upset. You want to get, you know, mad and tell the person off. As you are younger, these are things that, especially growing up in the gynocracy or the matriarchal household, you see women often jump off the rail or decide to, you know, tell the person off. And when a man or a young boy sees this over and over again, or this is the example of what he should do, he often reacts in the same way, even into adulthood. But I stopped. I thought that's exactly what I thought in that moment. You know, I can tell this woman off, which I really feel like doing. I really feel like asking her who does she think she is, and make myself feel better. But I was able to control my emotions, look her in her eye, and tell her that I only rob on weekends. And don't test me. When I told her that, she turned back around and, tried to give that, oh, I didn't mean it type of attitude, or I didn't mean anything by it, smirk about it. And she went on about her day. That is one of the instances where something could have went totally different. Something could have went left. And of course, when you're the man, for some reason in today's society, a woman can do anything to you. But as soon as you retaliate, wait a minute, that's a woman. That's something that you need to realize as a man, that the odds are stacked against you, even in small situations like that. So it's better to think and then act better than to react. Now, I'm not a stranger of things like that happening. I was actually a few years ago, grown adult, and I was actually at another grocery store here in the town that I live in. And I heard him say the N-word from a distance, and I actually had my firearm on me. And right there, the first thing I thought is, I wish he called me that to his face so I can pull this gun out on him. And that's not a good way to think. And I'm glad it didn't happen. But that's a lot of things, or a lot of the different situations that people go through. And if you're not taught to master your emotions, you're just taught to act on them. That could have instantly been a situation where anybody else or a lesser person would go to jail. And that's something that is really dangerous. We talk a lot about, the matriarchy and the gynocracy and women being delusional, but we often forget about what happens to the young men and young women that grow up in houses with overly emotional women with nobody to balance out that emotion. We end up with a bunch of women like men that grow up and decide to just go off on a whim and fight people for saying things and stepping on your shoe. It's a shame, because a lot of people's lives are ruined for snap judgment. All in all, I said all of that just to let you guys know that you need to master your emotions. It's better to think, really weigh out the things in your life that are important before you just jump off and do things that you regret because you want to be the one that's right, or you want to tell somebody that off, or it'll feel good to release that rage that is induced by being overly emotional. And actually, when you think about situations, and it actually feels better to know that you avoided a lot of terrible things that could have happened to you if you would have chose the other route. So guys, let me know what you think about story time with AaronEBM. Let me know if you like this kind of thing, and maybe I'll keep doing them, maybe I won't. It's always time to pivot when you are a content creator. So I just wanted to do something different. Thank you for sitting down with me, guys. Until next time, have a good day and peace.
On track, now we gon' way up.